Take out your journals, pass your quizzes up, take out your journals, stay quiet, and let's get to work. You ready for this? Okay.
Is that it?
Yeah, I think so.
Title it, Factoring. AX squared plus BX plus C, where A is not equal to 1. So factoring AX squared plus BX or C plus C, where A is not equal to 1.
Let's throw away.
After he checks it, yep.
Should let me teach this.
Maybe one day. Okay. Factoring. All right, here's your problem. We're going to go through a few steps on it. All right, so as you guys can see, this problem looks different than the ones we've been doing. The thing that makes it look different is that there's a number in front of x squared, right, where the a would be. It might be a good idea to start getting into the habit of labeling your a, your b, and your c. Your a is always next to x squared, your b is always next to x, and your c is always alone. Now the reason why you'd want to label them is so that when we start to use the quadratic formula, you know where your a, your b, and your c is. A is always next to x squared, b is always next to x, and c is always alone. Okay, step number 1. Multiply a and c together and write off to side. So multiply a and c together. I need to write bigger. And write it off to the side. So I'm going to do it right here just so we can see it. Step 2. Find two numbers that multiply to be, and I'm going to say, you remember how the first one was multiply together to be C and add together to be B? This one is we're going to find two numbers that multiply to be, I'm going to call it new number, which is over here and to the right, and add to BB. So the numbers that multiply together to be 28 are 7 and 4, 28, 1, 14 and 2. So we need two numbers that multiply together to be 28 and add together to be 29. What are they? Good. So I'm going to circle them. Okay. Step 3. Replace middle term with two new numbers attached to the variable. So it's going to look like this. So we're going to replace the middle term with two new numbers attached to the variable. The reason why I write attached to the variable is sometimes students forget to write the variable right here in the middle. Remember, we have to be able to go from this step back up to the original problem up here.
So that's supposed to be 28x on the first one instead of 29.
Yep, so we replaced the middle term. The middle term was 29x. We replaced the middle term with the two new numbers. The two new numbers were 28 and 1. So 28 and 1. So we get the middle number and we break it into 2. Does that make sense? So we get the middle number, we break it into two numbers. Okay, now we're to there. Anybody want to take a guess other than Andy maybe and Steve, what we do next?
You split it then.
Yeah, we would. Tice and pound it. Why do we know we're going to split it? So now step number 4. After that, you should have 4 terms. So you factor by grouping because there's 4 terms. So I'm going to go through it. We split it. Out of the first one, we can factor a 7x. Anybody want to take a guess what I can factor out of the next one? A 1, right? So your two answers are going to be 7x plus 1 and x plus 4. That is a bruiser. Yeah. This is the new number over here. So I've written it before where I find two numbers that multiply together to be step 1. So whatever number you get in step 1, you write out here. And then you're finding two numbers that multiply together to be the new number you just found and add together to be B. Does that make sense, Jackson? Okay, ready for another? All right, the next one, we're going to start off kind of easy and then we're going to get a little bit tougher like always. Oh, good, yeah. 5x squared plus 13x plus 6. Step number 1, we're going to multiply A and C together to get 30. Then we need two numbers that multiply together to be the new number and add together to be B. So we need two numbers that multiply together to be 30 and add together to be 13. What are they?
Man, that was quick.
Good. Okay. With our two new numbers, we're going to replace our middle number. Now, after that, you should have 4 terms. As soon as you get 4 terms, we're going to split it. And we're going to factor. Out of the first one, I can factor a 5x. Out of the second one, I can factor a 3.
How do you get 5x?
The greatest common factor of these. 5 goes into 5 and 10, and x squared and x, smallest one's x. So 5x is the greatest common factor. Brady?
Doesn't matter which order you put the 3 and the 10. Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, hey, I'm glad you asked that. I actually would have forgot to go over that. I'm going to show you. So when we finish up this problem, we get 5x plus 3 and x plus 2. I'm glad he asked that because this is important to see. Brady asked me, doesn't matter which order you put the 10 and the 3, right? Could you put the 3 first and then the 10 and the 3? Let's just see. So here, if we move the 3 and the 10 around here, we're going to split it and we're going to factor. Out of the first one, I can factor an x, right? Which leaves 5x plus 3. Out of this one, I can factor a 2, which leaves 5x plus 3. Does it matter? Nope. Just because even though these are in different order, they're still the commutative property. They still give you the exact same thing. Good question. Okay, any questions so far? All right, let's get a little bit tougher here. 3x squared minus 17x plus 20. You're going to have problems today where you're going to multiply a and c together and they're going to be over 100. And you're going to have to find two numbers that multiply together to be that gigantic number and add together to be the middle number. This one's an easy one. Okay. 3 and 20 make 60. Right? Two numbers that multiply together to be 60 and add together to be 17. Ooh, you son of a gun. But it's not positive.
Both are negative.
Who else would have got it that quick? This is one of those ones where you're going to go, well, Mr. Glazer's 20 and 3, right? Because 20 and 3 can get to 17. But wait. That's impossible, right? And then you'd have went, okay, 6 and 10. No. You could have went 20, you already did. You could have gone 30 and 2. No. Might have taken a little while to get to 12 and 5 if Tyson Brinkroff didn't yell it out from the back row and then say, damn it, because he didn't get it right, right? Tyson, language.
You said damn it.
Yeah, I'm an adult. Okay. Now the way I know they're both going to be negative, remember, if C is ever positive, if C is positive, these either both have to be negative or they have to both be positive. So we have our two new numbers, 3x squared minus 12x minus 5x plus 20. Okay, we got our four terms. We're going to split and factor. What happens if the middle sign's a negative? The sign between the two after it, change. And I'm going to change it. I'm going to rewrite it and change it so we can see it. Out of the first one, what can I factor out of the first one, Daxton? 3 and a what? Which leaves us x minus 4, right? Okay, what can I factor out of the next one, Allie? Out of this one. Yep. Which leaves us x minus 4. Our parentheses are the same. So there's your solution. Right there. Yeah. You won't have to do that today. Like if the parentheses aren't the same, all you do is you go back here to your fourth step and just switch these two terms. Remember? So it's just that. You just go back there and flip those two. Okay. Questions so far? Okay, I'm going to do one more of these and then we're going to talk about one more thing. If we have 2n squared, I'm just going to go through this one kind of quick, so you don't need to write down this one, just watch. So we multiply 2 and negative 1 to give us negative 2. Two numbers that multiply together to be negative 2 and add together to be negative 1. Negative 2 and 1, right? So we have 2n squared minus 2n plus n minus 1. We split and we factor, which gives us 2n and minus 1. If nothing can be factored out, a 1 always can. So if nothing can be factored out, a 1 always can, and we're left with n minus 1. So 2n plus 1, and n minus 1 would be your solution. Okay, now we need to look at it as if we have this, and I'm going to show you one. Actually, I should have downloaded their problem on Alex, so we can see one of the harder ones. Give me just a sec. I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to save you some bacon right here. I'm going to use my laptop a bit. Okay. So I'm going to pull up a couple problems on this thing. Look, it matches my shirt. Yes. Check it out. Okay.
Black, fluorescent, orange.
I bought a pack. It had like 20 different colors.
And that's the one you chose?
No, I have them all at home.
Well, then change it.
Oh, it's dead. Oh. Okay. You're gonna have to move.
Fluorescent orange.
Fluorescent orange is cool.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
Your short is like floral.
My short.
You're short.
Your shirt.
Proud of you. Can't talk English. Here we go.
It's on Dave. Oh, dumb.
I know. I remember getting done my homework on this last year and the year before. Alex changed it. So that's the basic understanding of it. Now we're going to get a little tougher. There is problems on this that are, like I said beforehand, that can be actually extremely difficult. Tyson, sit down. Okay? There is problems on this thing that can be really hard. Alex has a unique, I guess I could call it unique way of making relatively pretty easy problems look really hard. And I'm going to find one right here for you. I think it's that one right here. See that one? Oh.
This is just because it would be a big number. It's not
Okay.
terribly hard, it's just a time consuming.
All right, here we go. Save that. All right. Before I teach you these two, so I have two problems here that I'm going to teach you. I'm going to do one more of the book just to show you a little trick. And if you pay attention to this trick, it's going to save you time, especially when you get to the really, really big problems. So let's look at this one. So 10y squared minus 35y plus 30.
Wait, so you want us to write it down?
I want you to write this one, yes.
Wait, can you show your writing?
I'm gonna do them next right here, these two. I just wrote them down directly off your homework, and I'm gonna show you how to do them. Okay, look at this problem with me real quick. Right off the bat, you can see that these numbers are huge, right? I mean, when we multiply A and C together, we're going to get 300. Correct? Which is huge, right? I mean, you got to think about it. When we write 300 over here, we're going to have to test all kinds of different things to get to 35. Now, I want you guys to check something here. I want inside of your journal, this big, fill up 2 lines. I want you to write always look to factor out. I filled up 2. I would encourage you. Always look to factor out. And what I mean by that is before you even start one of these great big problems, you should look to pull a number out first of the problem. So everyone look at the original problem here. Is there a greatest common factor I can pull out of the original problem? 5. Look at that problem. I can pull a 5 out. Now watch. Watch what happens when I pull a 5 out. I get a 5, which leaves me 2y squared minus 7y plus 6. Okay? So we can factor a 5 out, which leaves us 2y squared minus 7y plus 6. Now the greatest thing, the reason why I always tell you to always look to factor out, is because as soon as you factor out something, you never touch it again. It just stays out there. It's part of the answer, but you never have to worry about it ever again. I never have to worry about that 5 until I write my answer. Now my problem is that. So now, ignore the 5. We're going to go ahead and solve this. 2 times 6 is 12. Two numbers that multiply together to be 12 and add together to be negative 7. Negative 4, negative 3. Now watch. I'm not even going to write the 5. I just know it's there, right? The 5's always there. As soon as you factor it out, it's always there. I'm going to write it like this. I'm just going to say, I mean, if you wanted to, you could do that. Okay? Yeah, you could do it like this. And then look. We're going to split it and factor. The middle sign's a negative, so it changes this sign, right? So out of the first one here, I'll do it just for Logan's sake. We're going to keep the 5 out there. We're going to factor a y out, which leaves 2y minus 3 minus 2. 2y minus 3. Whoop. And then you put together what's on the outside. Not the 5. The 5 stays out there. The y minus 2. 2y minus 3. And you're done. Now, some of you may ask, well, does it matter if we do factor out? Yes, because in order for something to be factored, it has to be factored to the most simplest form. So yes, you do have to factor out. Now, you would have got to this as probably your answer. If you wouldn't have factored at the very first, you would have got that as your answer. Does everyone see that? That's probably what you would have gotten. Now, you could have done it without factoring out at the very beginning, but whenever you get down to your full parentheses, look to see if there's something you can factor out. So I can't factor anything out of this one, but this one I definitely can. See that? So that's probably, if you wouldn't have factored out at the very beginning, you probably would have got this. But then you could have factored out right there. Okay, you ready for a really hard one?
No.
Harder or easier than that? Harder.
Harder.
I agree. Okay. This one right here is really big. And I will tell you right now, you cannot factor anything out from the very beginning. So yes, that does suck. But
Wait, what is the line?
what line?
Oh, that's funny line.
You know, I thought it looked weird too.
Okay. All right, here we go. You guys ready? Getting loose. Getting loose. 21 times 20, what is it?
Andy, what is it?
4,
Big.
1.
421.
Oh, 20, let's go! Let's go.
Is it really 420?
It's 420.
Okay.
Sir. Let's go.
All right, here we go. Two numbers that multiply together to be negative 420. Baxter, give me two.
Crap. 421.
Good. Does that get us to 16?
No.
Allie, give me another.
That's all I can do.
210 and 2. Does that give us to 16?
16, 70.
Hold on.
My bad. Sorry.
60 and 70 is not even close to that. Huh?
67, that's what I meant.
60 and 7. Does that get us to 16?
No.
Nope.
It's other numbers.
How about...
What the heck? How was this? Wait.
76.
Hold on. Hey, one at a time. Raise your hand if you have an answer.
No.
Not Andy.
He's a genius.
Andy, give it to me.
Negative 30 and positive 30.
No, I never did that.
I would have
I knew
eventually.
that. I was already getting-
Okay. Now let me...
They always
Yeah.
do that. Thank you.
Hey, so let me tell you this, okay? I want you guys to think, how long would it have taken us to get to there, right? It may have taken us using the entire testing area, right? But Andy got to it, thank goodness, right? He saved our bacon. We're done. Now we don't have to go through, we don't have to test it. Now we're going to go 21x squared minus 30x plus 14x minus 20. It is?
Not anymore.
And then we're going to split, and we're going to factor. Out of the first one, I can factor 3x, which leaves 7x minus 10. Out of this one, I can factor 2, which leaves 7x minus 10, which is going to give me 3x plus 2, 7x minus 10, and there's your solution. I go quicker through the factor by grouping. It's something we've done before, so I've been going quick through it. You guys, we should be quicker on factor by grouping. I'm going to let you guys try the last one on your own. Should I?
No, why would you say yes?
Big boy.
No.
That's what we like to see.
Okay, here we go.
Big boy. I like big boy.
There you go. Do it.
I didn't even finish writing down.
Go for it. Get out.
Why?
Now,
Alright.
it's either that or start drawing on your shirt.
You're gonna start drawing on my shirt? Dude, oh my god. Oh my god.
The Honda racing jacket.
Yeah, dude, I'm official.
That thing's. Wait, did you write this in your journal?
I want this one done on. No, I want this one to. Yeah, you can do it in your journal if you want.
If they're easy.
Too easy, too medium, too hard.
Okay.
What do you think? Daxton, sit up.
I didn't get all the notes out of the notebook.
Yeah, they got time.
These ones are the worst. Wow. That's a bad number. Everyone got 252, right? Okay, just making sure we're not doing.
I haven't even started.
Daxton.
I'm getting all the notes out of the notebook.
Now, just come sit down, hurry. Daxton.
Wait, I have
3,
more notes to write.
2, don't tell me to wait, sit down now. Okay,
That's finished.
Andy, don't help people. They gotta learn to get through it on their own, man. They really didn't. It sounded like it hit the trash can. Did it hit it? Well, now I'm hearing crap.
I was so close.
Wow. I think I know what it is.
Yeah.
What's 14 times 18?
252. That's right? 14 times 18 is 252. One here, put 252 and 1 at the very top. I know. 126 and 2.
No.
So you got it?
Like, I just like divided
Is it 83
And then you're trying to.
and 3? No, is it 84 and 3?
I will always put 252 and 1 in the top. Yeah.
Quiet. Keep working. 63 and 4. We're getting closer. I'm doing it actually longhand right now. Go. That actually goes in evenly. Wow. 42 and 6. Does 7 go into it? I'm doing it. It does too. 36 and 7. Hold on. 8 doesn't. I know what it is. I'm just going through them all right now.
Wow, that's really lame.
9 goes into it. 28 and 9. 10 doesn't. 11 doesn't. 12.
Yeah. Look at you go.
Who here got the answer?
Yeah.
Neither did I.
I told you the answer.
Nailed it. You did. Hey, Logan. You told it.
Okay, you want to go get that checked out.
Okay, so after a minute, you start to get your solution, right? Now, if you guys look at my problem here, Daxton, please be quiet. If you guys look at this example here, I did a lot of testing, right? Just to show you what it was. I tested 1, I tested 2, I tested 3, I tested 4. I could have tested 5 just to come out as a decimal. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It took me to 12 to get there, right? But I got there. 21 and 12, they add up to be 33, they multiply together to be 252. As soon as you're there, you split them, and you factor them, which shouldn't take you very long at all anymore. 7y plus 6 and 2y plus 3 is your solution. Okay, any questions for me about factoring where a does not equal 1? Is this harder? Yes. Okay, you guys are going to see some problems like those on your homework today. Good luck. You'll have some easy ones and some hard ones. 6 problems. You know, I think the homework's hard when I give you less than about 10. I know we're in for a dandy. My Chromebook, my laptop's dead.
You have the charger here?
It's at my house. I meant to grab it, and I forgot. Makes me mad, you know? All right. Cole, what do you think?
About this?
Yeah. 33 minutes. How long did I say it would take?